Okay, hi John, it's Mike here. Really apologies for not getting this back to you sooner. As I've said in the email, it's been a real hectic time. It's just the time of the year here coaching, so apologies, I've been a little bit delayed getting this back to you. But yeah, so let's get stuck in here. So obviously look at your swing here. Thanks for the information you put on your email to me with regards to obviously what's happened with your left leg there and maybe how that has possibly affected your swing a little bit and your performance. So I think looking at the sort of swing here, I'm guessing the ball flight wise what you're seeing is a little bit of a left to right fade, possibly turn into a slice as a more aggressive shot. Start on the down the line swing on the right hand side here first. I think looking at sort of setup looks pretty good. Maybe just it depends on really on the camera angle here and where you sort of position it, but the feet look to be a little bit open there, but you might not be because of the camera angle there possibly. So maybe for you to check your alignment of your feet a little bit here, but your feet and sort of hips and shoulders all look sort of pretty lined up together there, which is fine. Work through the swing here, John, and as we take the sort of club back here, so this first section looks really tidy, nice sort of movement back to there, club face is lovely and sort of square there, which is nice. So nice control of the blade, the club here. Get to the top of the back swing here, a little bit of a lift as you finish the swing there. Okay, we'll just move it on from this side just to catch it up at a similar sort of position, just look at it from a different angle. Lovely wide takeaway there. Weight looks to be sort of shifting nicely into that trail leg there, which is good. Good shoulder turn, good rotation, looks a really sort of good position at the top of the backswing there. Okay, as we sort of come back down into it, okay, we've got a good rotation and a good weight shift. So again, thinking about obviously your injury here, you're moving to this left leg quite nicely there and over and around onto that front side, so there's no sort of issues there, and I think quite a nice sort of position here that you get as well. So an impact, so easily see that you've played off 4 handicap here, some really good sort of motions happening. Now again, I'm guessing this is the shot direction that's maybe just suffering a little bit here, so if I just rewind this up here, John, I'm just going to get a little marker on your hands at this stage here, okay, and then just maybe watch the movement the hands make as you transition and start the downswing. Okay, and you can probably see there the hands have moved in a sort of out direction towards the golf ball. Okay, so I'll just rewind that and play that a little bit quicker here. So as we go up, you see as you transition the hands move sort of this way. There you go. So the hands get thrown out in front of your body a little bit too early on this downswing. Okay, so as the hands have been thrown out, this is also going to throw the club head out here. So you can just about make this out. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit here. There's your ball just to the left hand side of the club head, and the club head is obviously to the right hand side of the golf ball there now. So as you come into this, you're going to be swinging the club basically out to in across the back of that golf ball. So you're swinging as a swing path out to in or more left of target. And we sort of see it come across the golf ball. So there's a golf ball going off there, but you can see the club face is exiting quite a bit to the left of target. So there's you cutting across the ball, which I'm guessing is going to give you that left to right ball flight, a little bit of a slice, maybe an odd pull in there possibly if you do square the club face up in relation to that swing path which is going left. So really what I'm sort of saying here, John, is your swing path is maybe the issue here. Backswing's great. The transitional movement as you start the downswing is where it sort of just fails a little bit. And I don't know whether that's possibly because of a little bit of the injury, but having said that, you know, as it was to see on this left hand side, you get across there really quite nicely. And generally what I find with guys with injuries with left leg, whether it's bad knees or bad left ankles or anything like that, the tendency is to stay back on this trail leg. You know, it's quite a natural, I think, reaction to try and you know, protect a certain injury or anything like that. But again, you get through this really well, which is a good positive thing. So what I would like to do with here, John, is try and get this swing path a bit more sort of towards target and a bit more in relation to where you're sort of aiming basically. So We've got to try and change this downswing movement. So this first movement you make at the top of the backswing, we've got to try and get the feel of these hands sort of making a little bit more of a sort of movement that would sort of work down this way and then come back into the golf ball. Okay, so instead of them working sort of straight that way, I want them to sort of make a down and then back in sort of motion. Okay, so a couple of little thoughts for you here, John, is to maybe feel like the hands are, I'm going to throw a few thoughts at you here, maybe just try and find one that you can maybe go and have a go with, and what sort of works for you, because some of these wordings and how I put it across to people works differently from person to person. So I want you to feel like you're making a little bit of a drop. So if I rewind you to this part of the swing here, okay, and I'm going to put a line on the shaft there and obviously a line on your hands here, I would like you to try and picture that position. Okay, now obviously you're not going to see this because you're looking at the golf ball, but I want you to try and picture that position, okay, and as you come down on the downswing, I want everything to work underneath it. So I want the feel of the hands being, sorry, let me just get that out of the way. So I want you to have the feel of the hands being more behind you on the way down and not going in front of you, if that makes sense. So this line that we've got here, I want you to feel like you're going to swing underneath that line on the downswing. Okay, so the hands basically stay behind you. What I'll do here is I'll do a little video of myself in a minute of doing the same motion, so at least you've got something visual to watch me do it, which I'm wanting you to sort of do. So I want you to work this underneath this line that you've gone up on here. So as you get to the top of the backswing here, okay, I want you to feel that the hands come more sort of down and then under this way. Okay, so that's going to help you to get the swing path a bit more, basically what to you will feel like you're swinging a little more to the right of target. Now this might be a difficult thing. If you've got a fade, or if your miss of golf ball is more to right of target, right of the fairway, whether it's a fade or a slice or anything like that, then it can be quite a tough thing to try and feel like you're swinging more to the right. Okay, and obviously this is something to work on with the range. Now there's two elements here that's going to create you to cause a slice. Now if you swing left, which you're doing at the moment, and you leave the face open, the ball starts pretty much on target, but then it's going to fade off and peel off to the right of target. Now if you swing to the right and don't correct your club face, you're going to actually get a golf ball that will start right and then move even further right. Okay, so it could get worse. So this is obviously an element where you would then have to try and let the hands release the golf club and get you to square the club face up. So there's probably two parts to this, and tough to do all at once. So possibly if you work on swing path, get the swing path moving what to you feels more in to out. Okay, so it's moving more to the right of target. You might see some push shots, some push cuts, some push slices possibly. Then we know that the club face is open, and it's then the club face that is being a little bit of the issue. So then it's a case of possibly coming back to me and saying, right, I've got that push slice going on here now. Let's try and get the working of this right hand and let's get this club face rotating round and trying to square up. So I'm just trying to explain maybe what you might sort of see and what you might sort of happen as a result of you changing your swing path. Okay, so as I say, I want you to get the feel of pushing that club up that right hand side as best you can, so you feel like the hands come more sort of down and under and not sort of going over at the golf ball, what we sometimes call as over the top, to try and get that swing path sort of changing. What I'm seeing on the left hand side here is superb. You know, some great movements here, loading the weight, you seem to be bumping across there, transitioning, shifting, great impact position there. You know, there's no flippy, anything flipping happening on there. You know, and say with your injury there, you're getting through that really quite sort of nicely there, which I'm more than happy with. So it's really just trying to get that swing path more in relation to your target. So what I'm going to do now, John, is just going to video a couple of myself, just doing some movements, give you some little drills to sort of work on. I might put some links into the email back to you, just with a couple of YouTube videos that I've done, which again will tie into what I want you to try and sort of work on here, but I'll give you a couple of visuals to work on now. Right, okay, John, so as I say, to give you some visuals here of what I sort of want to work on. So just to maybe just run through that quickly again, what I'm sort of seeing as and give you a little bit of a visual here. So As you get to the top of your golf swing here, which is quite a nice sort of position, you can see you transition, your hands go in this sort of direction. So basically get out in front of you a little bit too early. So we get to the top here and then we make this sort of movement here, which throws the hands in front of the body. So here's your main core of your body. Hands get thrown out in front of you. The club head has got to follow as well, and that's then when the club swings left, and obviously it's going to create that left to right, well, that slice shot. So, as we sort of mentioned there, as we get to the top of this back, or halfway back here, John, and into your sort of position. So this is where I want you to try and picture this shaft position, picture where the hands are, because that's a good position you're getting into. There's no issues with that at all. And then I want you to try and feel like you're going to work it underneath this, so not that way like what you've done. I want you to feel like it's going to go under a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go back, you're going to feel that position, finish the swing off here, and then I want you to feel like you're going to drop the hands underneath there. So you can see at this point, the shaft shallows out and the hands stay back and keep central to the body. So they're not to the front side of you. Okay, I'll just do that again for you. So picture that angle, and then you're going to work it underneath that angle as you transition and go into the downswing there. Okay, so it's not getting too, I think sometimes what I find with a lot of golfers is because the ball's out in front of you, the urge I think is to swing out towards the golf ball. I think there's always that element of the process there, especially maybe with driver, because you're trying to hit it maybe a little bit harder, possibly too hard sometimes. I think a lot of golfers fall into that trap of just trying to hit a little bit too hard, and the hit comes from the top. So we get to the top there and go boom, and everything goes that way at the golf ball because it's all out in front of you. So it's trying to think a little bit differently here and try and trust that the length of the golf club is going to get the club out in front of you. Okay. As I'm shooting this, I'm guessing you're going to watch this straight away here, but obviously it's Masters Week, and I'm presuming you're going to be watching a little bit of this on TV. But if you ever watch those, or if you go on YouTube and just punch in, probably a good one is Tommy Fleetwood, obviously doing quite well at the Masters at the moment. Rory McIlroy, punch those in and just punch the name into the YouTube search and put slow-mo swings, and the loads of videos will come up, and just try and get one of maybe them hitting driver that's down the line, so basically this view down to the target line, and just as it's doing a slow motion, watch their transition. Now if you watch Tommy Fleetwood, quite a pronounced movement, but you'll see him get to this position here. You might even look at this shaft angle on the way back and think, that's actually quite steep. But then what you'll see him do is really soften that shaft here. But what you've got to remember is those guys are very rotational with the hips, okay? But they do all make that little softening. Now, some do it more than others, some are a lot more exaggerated, but you'll see them all make that little softening of that golf shaft, okay? And obviously they get that path delivery very, very neutral, and obviously, they earn a few $1 million doing that, don't they? So this is definitely something I want you to try and work on. So don't get too hitting from the top. Let's feel it work under, okay, and then you can turn through, because your rotation looks great, your weight transfer looks great. We've just got to control the hands and the direction that the hands swing on this downswing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. As I say, I will put a couple of links to some little drills for you that I've done video-wise on YouTube, and that you can go and obviously check out, and that'll just sort of give you maybe 2 or 3 drills to sort of go and work on. Some might not work for you, some might work for you, but it's all going to tie into what's specific for you, what we're trying to get you to do. But ultimately, I think if you can feel that loop in a way, or that working underneath there, and that will feel like you're going to push the path more to the right of target, then that's going to help you to try and track that path back that's going left to more, hopefully more neutral, but it will feel like you're going to go more to the right, if that sort of makes sense. All right, John. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense to you there. I think everything else you're doing looks really, really good. Grip looks good and everything like that. So, do give that a go. Have a work on that, and come back to me. Send me an email back. Let me know what you've seen with ball flight and how that sort of felt to you. If anything's sort of changed, I'm possibly expecting you to hit more pushes to the right, which I know you probably look at and think, ooh, don't want to do that.
but we know there's obviously a club face element to this as well, and we need to look at that. So ultimately, to hit a straight goal shot, the path's got to be quite square, and the face has got to be in relation to that path. So you can't have sort of one without the other to try and hit straight goal shots. You've got to have the two together. So sometimes what can happen is, as a player would move the path that was left and move it more to target, sometimes the face can open more. Okay, so then obviously we've got to try and get the feel of the release of that golf club, or feel that toe passing over that heel a little bit more earlier to try and square that club face. But maybe that's another thing. I'm sure why we have to have too many thoughts in one go. Let's just try and get that path working first, and then try and have a look at that club face maybe at another time. All right, John, thanks very much for sending your video. Again, apologies, it took me a little bit long to get this back to you as what I hoped to, but hopefully this will help, and obviously I'll look forward to hearing from you a little bit of feedback and how things have gone. Thanks very much, John.